You may have heard the term niche, and it's not so much focused on what you do. It's really about who you serve. Who is the person on the other side of the camera, on the other side of the keyboard, searching for the content that you can make videos about, that you're knowledgeable about? Who is that person? That's your niche. Welcome to the One Man Show podcast, where knowledge experts learn how to create video content as a one-person team. I'm your host, Stephen Kwasinski. Whether you're a coach, trainer, programmer, subject matter expert, I want to teach you how to create video content that gets you in front of your target audience, establishes you as an expert in your field, and makes you some cash. Thank you for joining me on this first episode of the One Man Show. I'm excited to be here. This podcast has gone through a few different iterations. We've called it a few different things over the years. And now I believe we've landed on a name for the show and a purpose and a direction that is going to be sustainable and bring you incredible value in creating video content as a one-person team. Now, we're streaming this video over on YouTube. I'm going to pack some SEO in there so we get in front of our target audience on that platform. We may even throw this up on Facebook, so wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening, please hit the like, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. My goal here is to bring value to you and to teach you how to create profitable video content as a one-person team. Now, the reason this podcast has taken such a while to build and develop and get to this point is, man, there's a lot to learn on the internet, and there's a lot to understand about getting in front of your target audience, marketing, sales, and having your priorities straight when you're starting your online business. So for you, the person listening to this, I want to teach you how to create video content in as short a time as possible with the easiest process possible so that you're not spending years spinning your wheels and trying to figure out, well, how do I figure out a niche? How do I make sure that I have something set up on the back end so that once people find me, I have something to sell them? How do I even sell effectively without being a sleazeball and without sounding salesy? I know that's a big concern with a lot of people in the coaching space, is they want to sell to people without seeming like a sleazy, slimy salesman sliding into DMs. They don't like that approach, and I can't blame them. I can't tell you the amount of times that I've actually had my direct messages open and I just get a chat from people, and you can tell right off the bat that there's an ulterior motive, that they're really in it for the transaction. There's really no relationship in the exchange, and it's a huge turnoff. And I know I've just gone cold and ghosted some people who have done that to me because, again, it's not something that I enjoy doing. I like to engage with people and provide them value up front. So that's a lesson that, right off the bat, that wasn't even planned in this script, but if you can provide value to people in your video content, that's the biggest stepping stone to actually creating content that gets seen and gets heard and gets you in front of your audience and gets you ultimately what you want. You have to be able to give people what they want and provide that type of value. You may have heard, you have to bring value this, value that, and you have to be valuable to people. What does that exactly mean? Well, luckily with us and with YouTube being available and with YouTube being the second largest search engine in the world, behind only to Google, which, surprise, surprise, they own YouTube. YouTube allows us to actually search for video topics that people are looking for. And I've got an upcoming workshop. I didn't mean to pitch this to you, but I do have an upcoming workshop for people that will teach them how to, if you're just starting out, if you don't have a niche, that I'm going to show you step by step how you can actually use YouTube to find your target audience. I'll just tell you right now, and if you're watching this, I don't have a video screen share for you. That will be available on the workshop. I think in future episodes of this podcast, we're actually going to do some screen sharing. But if you go to the YouTube search bar, and if you start typing in the search term, so let's say you want to start cooking chocolate chip cookies, and you don't know how to cook chocolate chip cookies and you're looking for a recipe, go to YouTube and search. Start typing into the search bar a search term, and you'll see that YouTube pops up with a list of suggestions. And in those lists of suggestions, so you start typing in how to bake chocolate chip. Guarantee you that YouTube is smart enough to know that you're looking for chocolate chip cookies, and you'll get a list of search suggestions that pop up underneath that search bar. And so you make it a few different suggestions: how to cook vegan chocolate chip cookies, how to bake chocolate chip cookies fast, how to bake moist chocolate chip cookies, how to bake the best chocolate chip cookies ever. These are things that people are actually searching for when they type in that search term into the YouTube search bar. And so if you follow that path and you start typing in a search term for any topic, it doesn't have to be baking cookies. It can be how to sew. It can be how to repair something at home. It can be how to fix a broken toilet. It can be how to learn a new skill. how to even YouTube, how to perform XYZ and how to do certain things on YouTube. You can search for literally any video topic and use the YouTube suggestions that come up and go from there. Start creating video on the topics that pop up, because guarantee you people are looking for videos on those topics. The trick here, and this is the secret sauce to when it comes to creating video content, is not just finding what people want, but being able to teach something well. There's an abundance of poor quality content on YouTube. Everybody just wants to put up a piece of content, a video, and say, look, I did the thing. And then they, wipe their hands clean, and they expect 1 million views and expect to be at the top of the search results. And it doesn't happen for them right away. It doesn't happen like that. In order to stand out above the other people who are creating videos on that same topic, you have to be able to teach well. You have to be able to explain a concept well enough to where you're going to click with the viewer on the other side of the screen, solve their problem, and actually be of value to them. And that's what it means to be of value. You want to solve problems for other people. Now, that's kind of where I got my start. For those of you who don't know me, I've got a YouTube channel where I teach people how to do tech things. So if you go to my channel, it's at Steven Kwasinski. And I teach people how to use basic programs, Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Sheets. And what those programs are they're basically the Google equivalent of Microsoft's Office suite. So Google Docs is like Microsoft Word, Google Sheets is like Microsoft Excel, and Google Slides is like PowerPoint. And I started my YouTube channel creating basic tutorials that were teaching people how to use these software programs effectively. And that just kind of snowballed into teaching different topics that were also related to what people wanted to put inside of their, let's say, Google Slides. So their presentation, their presentations, I would teach people how to insert video into their presentations, how to use the software, where to click, where to find certain things, text formatting, et cetera, how to create audio that you can then insert into your Google Slides presentations. But I really started out focusing on my first topic, which was how to teach or how to use Google Slides from a basic foundational level. And you, again, do the same. If you're struggling with trying to figure out what do I talk about on YouTube, what do I make video content about, and you can teach well, pick a software program, pick a skill that you have, pick something that you're knowledgeable about, and teach on that subject, and create a video on it. And put that up on YouTube and see what happens, and create another video on that topic and see what happens. Before you know it, you're going to have a library of videos on a similar topic, and people are going to come to you and they're going to see, okay, I'm a trusted resource. I'm somebody who knows what I'm talking about. I can see that this guy knows exactly how to use Google Slides and Google Sheets. I'm going to give him a subscribe. I'm going to come back to his channel often enough to where once he puts out content, I want to get notified that he's actually making videos on this topic. So that's what I challenge you to do on this episode. Is I want you to start creating content on videos that you're knowledgeable about. Use the YouTube search bar and use that as your starting point, your foundation on how you actually build your business and how you narrow down your niche. You may have heard the term niche, and it's not so much focused on what you do. It's really about who you serve. Who is the person on the other side of the camera, on the other side of the keyboard, searching for the content that you can make videos about, that you're knowledgeable about? Who is that person? That's your niche. The topics that you teach, it's not your niche. The person you're impacting, that's your niche. And once you find a certain set of topics that you can talk about and an audience that responds to that set of topics, you found your niche. It's not rocket science. It's really not as complicated as some people make it out to be. I know I struggled for a while in my own journey on what topics do I actually make videos about. I'd make these vlog style videos, just kind of talking, and they didn't really click. I was self-conscious in these videos. I didn't know what I was actually talking about. It was a little unnerving, and I was embarrassed to put myself out there. And once I discovered that I could create video content that solved problems for other people, it made content creation so much easier, because I knew at that point that I was creating content for a specific type of person to solve a very specific type of problem. So again, if you're struggling with your niche, not sure what you should be making videos on, what topics you should be talking about, that's what I'm going to challenge you to do, is start with the YouTube search bar and start looking for topics that people are actively searching for on YouTube, and then create videos on those topics and teach them well. And you're going to create an audience on YouTube, and you're going to find your following, and you're going to find your niche. So I really want to leave you with that. As far as who am I know I kind of really didn't get into that, and I apologize for that. So I know this may be the first time a lot of you people are meeting me. So my name is Steve Kwasinski. I've got about 15, 20 years of video production experience. I've worked for Forbes 500 companies, billion-dollar corporations, small businesses, and solopreneurs, coaches, programmers, trainers to create video content that actually makes a difference in their business. So, man, I've loved video production ever since I was a kid. I've loved music. I really got my start in just creating home movies and music videos and lip syncing and then using software programs to edit these videos. And I also had this entrepreneurial bug in me. So I thank my dad for that, because he really is the entrepreneur who set it on me and really inspired me to want to create a living doing the things that I was good at, and not necessarily be in a job that I didn't care for and that I hated. So love you, Dad. Again, great inspiration to me. I had my own lawn mowing business. Of course, I did lemonade stands. I would sell things in school, particularly burned CDs if people wanted some particular music. And so I create burned CDs of mixes and playlists for them. And then later on, I got into video production, video editing for other companies, small businesses, worked for a number of other small businesses and, again, corporations. Rust-Oleum was probably the biggest client that I've ever had. And we created content that got in front of a target audience and looked good. These companies had big budgets. But then I really, when I started to focus back on my entrepreneurial roots and who do I want to work with? Who do I love to connect with? Who do I want to help on a really deep level, and to try to get their business going and their mission moving forward? It was really entrepreneurs and coaches and programmers and knowledge experts who really don't know a whole lot about video. And me having a production background, a professional production background, and having a successful YouTube channel, I mentioned earlier, I create tutorials. I've got about 15,000 subscribers. I'm excited about that channel. I'm starting a few new channels, and I've seen how audiences react to content, and how if you teach something well, and if you can explain, and if you can talk in front of a camera and get over. I mean, there's nobody in this room. It's me and the camera and this microphone. And it's a little like, okay, I'm talking to a piece of equipment here, but if you can talk and if you can get over the self-consciousness and you can focus on the person on the other side of the screen, once this video is done and it's uploaded and it's ready to go and people are watching it, who's the person that this content is impacting? And again, it's focusing on the audience and that person on the other side of the screen and making that connection with them and giving them good content, good information. It makes content creation a lot of fun and a whole lot easier, instead of just kind of focusing on yourself and promoting yourself. And this is the type of content that people connect with. So I want to encourage you and inspire you to create content that you're knowledgeable about, that you know that other people are going to connect with, and that solves a problem for other people. So we'll get into more topics. I'd love to hear what you're struggling with. If you're trying to make videos, if you don't know how to make good videos, or if you're struggling to get traction with your current video production process and the videos that you upload are not quite serving your business, let me know in the comments somewhere. I would love to hear what you're having troubles with, so I can help you overcome these barriers and help you create better content and get your stuff seen by your audience and establish you as that authority and help you build your business online with video. That's it for this first episode of the One Man Show. I feel like I was talking at about 1,000,000 miles a minute. I want to thank you for tuning in. Please hit the subscribe button if you want more of this type of content, and let me know in the comments if you need help with your video content. I'm here. I'm a resource. I'm not going anywhere, and I would love to work with you. My name is Steve Kwasinski. This is the One Man Show. Thanks again, and I will see you in episode number 2.